on being the most popular comic in Orange County. He's done the Improv. He's done the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Mr. Mike Hughes.
That was the beginning to Cleveland Rocks. Cleveland Rocks. I am from Cleveland, Ohio, the mistake by the lake. You know, yesterday was 4th of July, so I'll give you a little history lesson. Cleveland, the founding fathers of Cleveland, pretty much, they were going to cross the country in covered wagons, right? But the ones that settled in Cleveland, first of all, they were going the wrong direction. And then they run into Lake Erie, 200 miles into it, and they're like, screw it. This is too hard, you know. Get used to disappointment and defeat, kids. That's Cleveland. You guys saw the LeBron James is going to be a LA Laker? Did you not hear me just say I'm from, screw you guys. I'm from Cleveland, all right? When I lived there, you know, and don't take my word for it that it's a crappy city. You could fly to Cleveland, Ohio, and I got to fly there next Friday for a wedding for $19 for a hot weekend. The airline, Spirit Airline, proves you're from a crappy city. But to get the hell out of Cleveland, it's $379. The departure terminal at the Cleveland airport. You guys remember like the old videos of the fall of Saigon and like helicopters going off overhead and there's like soldiers tackling? That's the Cleveland departure terminal. The security guard tackled this old guy and a woman tried to hand me her baby. Seriously, she's like, take fam with you to Hollywood. Make us proud, fam. I had a friend tell me, you should try that joke with an Asian accent. So I did. Here in Irvine. It did not, no. So just to give you a little history, before LeBron James, for 60 years we were awful in sports. So I grew up, you know, I moved out before LeBron won a championship. We're gonna suck for 60 more years. And my sports heroes, you know, everyone, LA had Magic Johnson, and you know, you got Reggie Jackson in New York City. We had this guy named Joe Charbonneau. You got to take what you can get in Cleveland. He was Rookie of the Year, but that's not why Cleveland loved him. They loved him because Joe Charbonneau could drink beer through a straw in his nose. This is true. He could open a beer bottle with his eye socket. Yeah, my mom liked that one. And he did all of his own dental work. My dad liked that one. My dad was kind of cheap. Needless to say, as kids, we never went to the doctor. So you got hurt, you did. You know, our pets had it worse. We had a dog, Buff, jumped out of a car, had a big gash in his leg. So my dad fishes around his toolbox and gets out the super glue. It was like decades before medical super glue, and he, you know, brushes off the dead ants and the sawdust, and it worked. And another time, I think my dog Buff was in a gang because, you know, he'd go away for days. And he comes back after like a 3-day doggy bender and he's got a bullet hole in him. And so finally I'm like, Dad, you know, can we take Buff to the doctor now? And my dad's like, why? And I'm like, you could use a shampoo. And there's that bullet hole thing. Had to be tough, man. We had to swim in Lake Erie. I don't know if you guys know the story. Lake Erie it was the most polluted lake in the country. It was disgusting. Come out of the water, there'd be like a cheeseburger wrapper stuck to your back. And my mom's like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like, Mom, it's disgusting. She's like, get back in the water. They'll toughen you up. And if you know the history, the Lake Erie caught on fire one time. It was so polluted. The Cuyahoga River, and you know, I come out of the water and my mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, Mom, the lake's on fire! But she was smart, and she said, you know, dear, the fire, it's killing off the pollution. And then she opened up a beer bottle with her eye socket and gave it to my dad. I played beer league hockey. There's, if you hadn't guessed, there's some teammates here. I'd like to say that I do it to stay in shape, but if you saw the speed that we play the game, the lightning fast speed, you know that's not true. We drink way more calories than we burn off playing. I do it to hear the stories. You know, I have to collect the money. And I tell you, I can tell you the dividing line of the millennials when you have to collect the money. The old guys, we bring cash and just pay. The millennials are like, Mike, can I Venmo you? You know, hey, I'll PayPal you this week. Like, who here has been at a CVS behind some millennial, you know, named Spencer, and he's trying to pay for his $1.50 Tic Tacs with his credit card? You know, swipe. Oh, dude, is it a chip? You know, just, ugh. So, we got a Canadian millennial. I don't know if you guys knew, it was Canada Day last Sunday. Nobody knew that. You guys. All right. And I was playing a game. I'm old, so I play cheap because I gotta, you know, catch up the advantage. And I cheap shot at a guy. And a guy on the other team was Canadian, and he called me a bag of milk. I didn't know they sold their milk in bags in Canada. I thought it was funny. I thought, was he calling me a boob? You know? But my buddy Andrew, who's also Canadian, you know, he said he did not think it was funny. He ends up getting in a fight with the guy, like a real fight, and they should, like, Andrew should be in jail. But it was hockey, so he served 5 minutes and got out. I got 3 kids. I got 2 older boys and a daughter, and I recently got addicted to the game Fortnite, which is a video game. And I tell you, video games now are not like when I was a kid. You know, I grew up on Pac-Man, and it's like, you know, people say, you know, the marijuana in the 80s, you know, it's 10 times more powerful than it is now. That's the same way with video games. I bought it to relax, and my kids won't let me play because I'm terrible on the Xbox that I bought, on the TV that I bought, in the house I bought. So I'm being a good guy. I find myself going on Craigslist, and I meet this guy named Trevor, and he's selling me his Xbox. He's a college student, and I'm like, Trevor, why are you selling it? And he's like, well, sir, I've outgrown it. And then he proceeds to go, and so, mister, why are you buying it? Don't judge me, Trevor, okay? Shut the hell up. So the premise of the game, and there's 125 million people play this game, and there's 100 people in the game dropped on an island. It's last man standing. So you just gotta be the last guys to survive. So in the last 6 weeks, I've been shot, blown up, axed to death, gassed to death, about 2,500 times. Like, this is me at 2 a.m. You know, I'm like, come on, just start running. Go get, no, shoot, no, what are you doing? And my guys, you know, just going like this, you know. And I go to bed and I'm sweating, my pupils are dilated, my heart's racing. My wife thinks I'm on meth. So she looks at me and says, you bought this to relax, right? Yes. Yes, I did. I grew up in a generation where handshakes have taken a dramatic twist. When I first started working, there was one handshake. You went in, you know, Steve, Mike, Steve, Bill, Tom, Mike, nice to meet you. Now, I don't know what handshake we're going in for half the time. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, the slide with the knuckle punch. Is it just going to be the knuckle punch? Could be the knuckle punch with the explosion. Could be the high five, low five. I end up just panicking and hugging people. And the better looking, the cooler the guy, the more pressure that is on me. I don't know if you guys, there's a comedian who plays a lot here. Good looking guy, Richard Darrell Osborne. And and so my daughter and I were performing about 8 months ago here. And so I went out of the room, I come back, and sitting on the couch in the green room is this guy and my daughter. And, you know, he's chatting it up, and she's 18, and she's very pretty. And I'm thinking, you know, as a dad, I should be thinking, what the hell is this guy doing, you know? But what I was thinking was, I'm gonna screw up this handshake. And I did. I ended up hugging him. And then I ended up hugging him twice because I run into him later on that night after I hugged him goodbye the first time. I've been married for 29 years. I almost screwed that up. Who's the guy in 47 years here? Or nobody's being quiet now. All right, see you hand wave. All right, 29 years. I just celebrated Monday, and it's a fair amount of time. And my wife looked at me the other day and she said, "Are you even listening to me?" And I thought that's a weird way to start a conversation. So Fourth of July, we normally don't have people over for dinner because it's like basically it's like the cafeteria at the Chino State Prison, our house with my two older boys, you know. But we had this gal over. She was from England, and we're sitting there, and my son's at the far end of the table, and I'm halfway through the meal, but all the hot rolls are by him. So I just say to him, "Mitch, bread me." And he chucks the bread across the table, catch it without, one bang. And she looks up and she goes, "That's the most American thing I've ever seen." And I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. That's the most American thing? What about World War II when we bailed you guys out? 4th of July, it doesn't end here in Irvine, folks. About the Revolutionary, 242 years ago, where we kicked England's butt. I have a neighbor, Simon, beautiful guy. He's from England. I can't invite him to my shows. So, I tell my daughter that she better really start being nice to me, because when I first met my wife, she was dating this guy in Cleveland, and this is a Cleveland name. His name was Bruce Cobbledick. It's a real Cleveland name. And I said, "Nikki, if it wasn't for me, your name would be Nick Cobbledick." All right, thank you guys for supporting live.